Well, just thank you, Dr. McMillan, for taking the time to talk to us and just answer some questions and in this crazy time. And I'm personally thankful to have a principal that's staying sane in all of this. So I'll just go ahead and jump in. So what do you miss about Chapman? Just being around the people and the building and just everything.
Sure. Well, I think that's it. I mean, I think so much of what education is pouring into people's lives, and it's really hard to pour into when you're trying to pour virtually. So missing the interaction with kids and teachers and just community members. I understand that it's all for a greater good, and that's for people's livelihood and for their safety. But just missing the students on a day-to-day basis, they're celebrating with them, helping them overcome obstacles. That's really hard when you're not able to sit down with somebody face to face, but we are making it work. We're trying to communicate with our kids, and whether it be Google Hangouts or sessions like this, where every one of our teachers that are conducting these meetings, there's been administrators that have been in there so we can see our students. But I think definitely all the stuff that school brings, and particularly I think our senior students, I think them, whether it be spring sports or I know we've got a rescheduled date for prom, so we're trying to have some type of normalcy for students that are should be at the highlight of their high school career. Just nobody could have planned for this, but certainly just missing the kids, missing the teachers, and all the things that Chapman High School represents. When you're in a building, it's such a special place. It's hard to recreate that in an online setting.
So how are you keeping yourself occupied, being stuck at home a lot of the time?
Well, we're working, we're working half days at school, again, trying to maintain our distance and be respectful of one another and taking all the safety precautions. This time has allowed us to really dive into some of our data, really look at some practices that we've done and look at some areas we could be better in. I think this gives you time to really reflect and evaluate just what your programs and policies are, and things that you maybe wanted to look at. You've now got some time. I know just physically we've done a lot of cleaning and sanitization and things of that sort of the building, but we've also cleaned up, files and things to be more productive when we return. And then we're doing a lot of just data dives and data mining. We're waiting on some ACT scores back. We've got some SAT stuff. So we still have business we have to do. We're working closely with guidance about course requests and master schedules. And, we're going to be ready when we come back to hit the ground running. So I think I'm really happy to be in a district that we're so forward thinking about where we are and where we're going to be when we get back, because we're in much better shape than a lot of other places. And I'm just really thankful for that. And that's a testament to our district office staff, our administrative team, our community. I mean, everybody's just been really supportive so we can get through this thing together.
Tristan?
So during this time, what do you want, what is your message to students and teachers?
Well, I think for our students, just relax, breathe. Still be a kid. I saw something the other day, we're asking kids to manage, multiple online classes and learning environments and jobs and family commitments and relationships and church activities and, on top of now learning from home. And one thing I've talked about in the last week or so is we've removed the great equalizer for all our kids, and that's the building. This building is such a special place with a lot of resources and a lot of just positive culture and climate. And when you remove that from kids, I want them just to relax and know that we're going to get through this thing together. Don't feel like you got to get everything done at one time. Really focus on what's important. And the same message goes to our teachers too. We talked with our teachers on Monday. We had 68 people in a Zoom meeting so they could all hear what our expectations were. And that's that we need to be compassionate. We need to be sympathetic. We need to use empathy for our students. 6 million people filed for unemployment last week across the United States. And we're in an area of blue collar working class folk. And a lot of them are struggling right now. So I think for our teachers, it's to really focus on the relationships. And I know that's our district theme for this year, but that's been a part of Chapman's fabric forever, is the relationships we have with our kids and our community. So I think for our teachers, it's what can you do to help these kids? And our teachers have been great resources to say, hey, I haven't heard from this student. Like, I'd like for you to go check on them. So, Officer Irwin and I are making home visits. We're making phone calls. We're checking up on people. So what I can ask for the kids is, if you know there's somebody that's struggling or you haven't heard from them in a while, let us know, because we're going to ride out there and we're going to see what's going on, because they may need help. They may need resources that we can provide. I just don't want to see anybody come through the situation and it be such a detriment to their life. So I'm asking our teachers to just use compassion and care and do the things that they would do during the school day, just now in a different setting.
Okay, so how do you feel about the community's reaction during this time?
Well, hello, Laura Wright. I see there, Allie. So I think our community reaction, I think it speaks for itself, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many pictures I've gotten from people who are stopped on the road, and they're stopped because the school bus is delivering hope and food and supplies. I think we've done like 20-something thousand meals. I know that number's probably changed even today. What I'd like the community to know is, we're still delivering Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We have food available here at Chapman for pickup. And we delivered twice during spring break last week. I was on both buses Monday and Wednesday during spring break. We're committed. I think you're talking about a district that is fully committed to making sure our people have their most basic need. And that's food. That's love. That's compassion. And if people didn't realize how important our assistants and aides and bus drivers were, I think they now know, because those people, they are the backbone of this district. And having been in this district my entire life, I've seen the power of people. And this community has really come together. But also the community's done a great job in reminding others, like, hey, we want to get back to some normalcy. So stay home, stay home, stay safe, do the things that you need to do. Because I think, people miss school. They miss a sense of community. They miss being out at the ball field on a 70-degree night in April. People that don't even have kids, they just come out and love to support the school. And that's what the real community is missing. I think that's what people are struggling with, is that sense of normalcy. So I just applaud the community for, they were already really supportive of what we're doing, and then they've just been more supportive during this whole time. We've had people call, hey, what can we do to help? And so that's really the only bad thing about the situation, Allie, is you're trying to tell people, hey, we appreciate your volunteer spirit, but stay home. Stay home, take care of yourself. And that's hard when you have to tell people that, who want to help, that it's in their best interest just to let us keep doing what we're doing and get through this, because you don't ever want to jeopardize somebody who's trying to help, and then something happens to them or they get sick. And then having a wife who works in healthcare, man, I just my heart, my prayer, my praise goes out to our first responders, our healthcare workers. They're crushing it right now. I mean, they are absolutely working their tails off and trying to find ways to get through this and deal with the people who are sick. So it's been a really trying time for a lot of folks.
So then just one last question. How excited are you going to be when we can finally all come back?
So I'm not like I like social media, but I'm not quite on the cusp of like starting my own like TikTok, because that would just look silly. But I'm trying to figure out a way that I can like film myself running through the empty hallways, like a la Home Alone in the hallway, where I'm running back and forth, just screaming, because this place, man, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right without the hustle and bustle and the noise and the laughter and all the things that kids and students bring. I've already told somebody, you know, the first day we're back in this building, we might just have like an all day long pep rally where we just like hug and like social distance, you know, is out the window. And, you know, we're going to do a lot of celebrations when we get back. I think this is really going to show people. I think sometimes you can get complacent when you have a good situation. And I think that's what people have realized is they just didn't really know how great a school and district and community we have until you remove that. And so when you're able to come back, we're going to really celebrate, you know, just being back with one another and spending time. So we've got some ideas of some ways we can do that. But yeah, I just want to run through the hallways the first day where like throw the doors open and like, come on in, everybody. You know, there's no rules or guidelines. But it's been difficult. You know, I know there's a lot of kids that are they're working more hours. You know, they're trying to stay busy too. But all this is just crazy. I mean, it's just a crazy. You guys are living in a historical event that we're gonna, you know, it's gonna be in history books. You know, 100 years from now. And I think that's what kids don't really understand is you're living in this window of time where, you know, events are happening around us that are going to impact us moving forward. And education is going to look different too. I think everything's going to be changed from this. We just got to figure it out and make it to where it's been changed for the better.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, sure. Well, I appreciate you guys' time and y'all stay safe and you guys keep producing quality content. And, you know, when we get back, like I said, it's going to be a great time, you know, of celebration. You know, I know that there's just a lot of unease and a lot of fear out there and anxiety. Just relax, control what you can control. Everybody's trying to do their part so we can get this thing taken care of and get back to a routine and get back in school. I know kids miss the interaction with one another and your teachers miss you. We're working on a project right now, Miss Ballantyne, to produce some content, you know, our teachers can get with our kids. So we're working, you know, trying to get back into some sense of normalcy and trying to finish out this school year in the right way.
Thank you, Dr. Mack. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Y'all stay safe.
Bye.
All right. Bye.